Charlie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, just for those of you that don't know me, I'm Bernardo Moya. I'm the Chief Inspiration Officer of The Best You. I'm the founder of The Best You. And today I have Charlie here with me. And Charlie is she's the UK Director for A-21, an international anti-trafficking organization working to abolish the injustice of modern slavery. And well, Charlie is speaking at the Best You Expo, and the Best You Expo is happening on the 16th and 17th of February. And it's a big gathering of people that are interested in helping others achieve their dreams and inspiring others. But apart from that, and the fact that there's 180 speakers and a couple of hundred exhibitors throughout the 2 days and thousands of people there, you know, looking and interested in learning, it's also about trying to create awareness of, you know, the global issues that the world has. My take on kind of personal development and our brand, which is about people becoming the best version of themselves. Okay, so the best you. But ultimately, I also believe that if you're the best version of yourself, but you're ultimately not taking responsibility or action, you know, towards addressing all these challenges that we have in the world, well, then, you know, you're not really the best you. And what I have seen a lot is what I call selfish development. People that are interested in, you know, in basically, obviously, benefiting themselves from this industry or any others. And you guys do some great work. And the reason I wanted to have you guys there was because some of the stats and the figures are just appalling and just scary. So please, Charlie, tell me a little bit about yourself, how you got into what you're doing today, and then we can start discussing what the plan is.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you for having me. First of all, it is great to be able to chat to you all. So I'm the UK Director of A-21. As you said, it's an anti-trafficking organisation. I've been the UK Director for 6 years now, which is an absolute privilege and honour. I absolutely love it. So I head up our UK office. I actually got into working in the charity sector about 11 years ago, and I found out about human trafficking actually from a very young age. Human trafficking and slavery I saw from a very young age. I was traveling from the age of 14 with my mother out to Thailand actually to do like mission trips and working with refugee children. And a lot of these children that we were working with had actually been trafficked and exploited. And so from a very young age, I witnessed human trafficking and slavery on another level really, and it really broke my heart. And I knew as soon as I sort of had seen that in just these marginalised client groups that I was seeing more and more that I wanted to work in an area with vulnerable people. And so as soon as I could, when I finished university, I started working with young homeless people, but I knew that I wanted to work with vulnerable people that were being trafficked and enslaved. And so I got a job actually working in prisons, working with girls in gangs who had also been trafficked.
Wow.
And then about 6 years ago, an opportunity came up with the founder of A-21, an incredible lady, Christine Kane, asked me if I wanted to head up this office. I knew about the charity A-21, and I knew this was something that I definitely wanted to do. And I've been doing it ever since, fighting the injustice of slavery, which I think is the best job in the world.
Wow, amazing. And thanks to you and so many people like you and many volunteers that are creating awareness. Give us some stats and some figures, because, you know, some of the information that's out there is so scary. And I suppose, you know, because we don't see it. Well, first of all, I'm so surprised that it's not that much more relevant than it should be on the news. But I suppose kind of like, you know, in the old days when they used to, bring Africans into America and England, and they used to chain them and pile them all down, and then they used to throw thousands of them over. I mean, you know, and we've got pictures and document, but obviously I suppose because it's presented in a different way, it's not so much in the media, but some of the stats and the figures are appalling, aren't they?
Absolutely. And I think still, again, like you said, a lot of people hear the word slavery, they think of the transatlantic slave trade, like we're saying, they think it's a thing of the past. They think slavery was abolished a couple of 100 years ago, but actually there's more slaves in the world today than at any other point in human history. It's very hard, obviously, to get statistics on how many slaves there are in the world today, but the modern slavery index says there's well over 40 million people trapped in slavery today. So this is the fastest growing crime worldwide. This is the second largest organized crime worldwide, and that's just secondary to drug trafficking. And this is affecting every continent, every country, and every economic structure. You know, this is a huge, huge problem. It affects us here on the ground in the UK. The recent statistics say they estimate there to be around 10 to 13,000 people right here in the UK trapped in slavery as well. So it's a huge, huge problem that we're dealing with here.
Mm. And so obviously women seem to be, there's a higher percentage of women enslaved because of, I suppose, sexual trafficking and things. So give us some of the facts and some of the work that, for example, A-21, what you're helping and what you're doing at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think a lot of people think of slavery, human trafficking, and they think of sex trafficking and sex slavery again. For us in the UK, just so you know, last year, 48% of the people identified as victims of slavery were actually male. So we're nearly 50-50 here with females and males. And the two top types of exploitation that you're going to come across worldwide are forced labor and sexual exploitation. Now, at the A-21 campaign, we work with a variety of different types of trafficked victims. Obviously, a lot of the people we work with have been victims of sexual exploitation, sex trafficking, but we also work with victims of forced labor, domestic servitude, and other types of trafficking as well. But here in the UK, the most prevalent is forced labor, actually. So things like when you're looking and you're seeing people working in car washes, nail bars, food prepping, factory work, paving, tarmacking, that is all forced labor. And actually in the UK, that's the top type of exploitation that we're seeing. And then sexual exploitation is just behind that, actually, at 35%.
Wow. Well, so as I was saying, the idea of having you here today was to create awareness of the great work that you do, and also to invite people to come along to the panel that we're going to have at the Best You Expo. So we've got a panel there, and the way literally it works is that we've got, we're planning in streaming this on the day. And we are going to then obviously putting it out there to as many people as possible. We're going to put it through our Facebook, through our YouTube, and then through some of the great partners that we have. Now, the panel that you've got is yourself, Annie Kelly, and Kieran Gilbert, who I believe is from Thomson Reuters, who support you guys. So can you tell me a little about how you see this working, and why should people come and watch it, or should people come to the expo to see this and to hear about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it comes back to that thing of what you said. You know, so many people, when they hear the word slavery, they think it's a thing of the past. And people do not understand or comprehend what slavery looks like today. And so on this panel, we just want to have a conversation where we are educating members of the public, that everyday person, that this is actually affecting us right now. This is a hidden crime, but it is actually happening in plain sight, and it's happening on our doorsteps. And we all have the power and the ability to do something about it. And that's what I'm very passionate about in particular, and that's what I'll be talking about in my breakout session as well, is actually people hear statistics and injustices that are huge, like human trafficking and slavery. They hear statistics like 45 million people trapped in slavery today, and they think that is such a huge statistic. What can we ever do about that? It's just too big. But the thing is, statistics, they're so dehumanizing, and they are so desensitizing, and they are so numbing. And when we hear statistics like that, I think, you know, we just think, well, what can little old me here in, for example, London do about an injustice as big as this? But what we want to do on this panel and in the breakout session that I'm going to be talking about is, I really want to encourage people to, yes, know about the problem, but then see yourself as the solution. Break that number down so it represents one person, one story, and one life, because actually we all have the ability to do something about this injustice. And it takes every single one of us playing our part. You know, we can't do everything, A-21 can't do everything, I can't do everything, but we all can do something. I think that's what we really want to get across in this panel and in this breakout session.
Yeah, that's something that I say quite often, that not some, you know, there's not one person that can do everything, but everyone can do something. And I think that's kind of what happens. We tend to forget, or we tend to believe that, you know, someone else will take care of it. Someone nicer than me is going to do it. And the bottom line is we can't hide anymore. I think that kind of what we really need to do is we need to take responsibility of how I can become the best version of myself. And I suppose also, how can I make my environment? How can I make my business? But also, importantly, how can I make the world? And there's something that we're all going to be driven towards. You know, it might be global warming, others it might be about plastic in the ocean, some might be slavery. But I think we will have to address the issues that the world has, because, you know, unfortunately, I don't think we can leave it to politicians or educators. So we got to do it. But well done. I'm looking forward. I'm going to share my screen very quickly. So for anyone that is actually just watching right now, well, what I wanted to say is that you can obviously find all the necessary information from Charlie here. So if you go to the Best You Expo, and I'll take you to this page in a minute. So that's Charlie's workshop, which is this is the panel that we've got on the main stage. It's the A-21 workshop, a conversation about modern slavery, a hidden crime in plain sight. And then on the 16th of February, you're speaking at 2 o'clock about combating modern slavery using freedom. So this is it. If you're interested in attending, well, it's very simple. You go to the bestyouexpo.com, and then if you go to the bestyouexpo.com has the English and the US Expo. But if you go through here, then you can see all the different speakers. You can see all the exhibitors. You can see pretty much anything and everything that's happening throughout the 2 days. But we've got a fantastic lineup of speakers, and we also have the opportunity to engage with people which are really changing the world, like yourself. So I hope to see you there, the Best You Expo in Olympia, London, 16th, 17th of February. And I want to thank you, everyone, for being here today. I want to thank you, Charlie. Is there anything you wanted to ask me? Anything in particular that you wanted to know, or anything I can help you with?
No, I just think it's great that we're raising awareness about injustice like this. And I think it's great that we're pulling people together. We're uniting around different causes to do what you aim to do, which is create a better world. So I think well done to you guys for talking about sensitive issues like this, because actually it does make a difference.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Well, you'll be sharing as well the link for the streaming for anyone that wants to watch it that isn't based in London, that's outside the UK or anywhere in the world that wants to watch this. You'll have the opportunity to be there, present with us and hopefully supporting us. So thank you so much. Have a great week and see you very soon.
Thank you.
Take care.